Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
Well, Corey, here it is, Friday afternoon. I don't think we could have asked for a better place to be doing a better thing right now.
No, and I mean, I know it doesn't matter to you listening, but the weather is beautiful. It's going to be an awesome weekend. We hardly ever get to do these on a Friday afternoon, so
yeah, it's usually breakfast on like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah. And then you force me to drink wine for breakfast, which isn't a bad thing.
It's our pleasure to sit down and have another segment here with a grower out of Sonoma County. These segments are a pleasure. They came out of a fantastic relationship that we formed while we were out at the World Ag Expo in Tulare, and can't wait to go back someday.
Yeah, and thank you for John Bucher for taking us out there and hooking us up with the Sonoma County wine growers. This is, if there's going to be a partnership, I think this is the dream.
It's pretty dreamy.
Well, I guess the dream is once they actually get us out there to try it there.
I know. We keep saying it. It's going to happen. I promise. And I got surprised because I didn't know if you were going to be in studio or not. And I was nervous.
Why?
I didn't know if I'd be able to get the bottle of wine open.
Oh, see, that's why
so
I
prematurely popped the cork. But I can't wait for you to pour it in the glass. Before we do that, we need to meet our guest today. Welcome to the podcast, John. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
We are excited. If you can't tell, can you see it? Can you feel it in our voices?
I can feel it. Yeah.
Is it Butcher or?
It's the last name is Bucher.
Bucher.
Ah,
yeah.
Do you see how I strategically, as the host, introduced him as John?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I saw that, but
I noticed that.
Name on the bottle, so we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So what do we got here that I'm going to pour before we talk about it, or before we get into the conversation, John?
So this is our 1922 Bucher Vineyard Pinot Noir. So this is one of the four.
1922.
2022.
Oh, did I say 1922? Man,
hey, we would take it.
Yes. I was probably thinking. Actually, it's interesting. I was thinking. It's an interesting. You're talking about my name earlier, and it's Swiss German. So the Swiss German pronunciation is Bucher. So it's like the CH is kind of a K sound. So Bucher is the sort of smoothed out American version of Bucher. And my parents immigrated from Switzerland, and actually today I was probably thinking about the 1900s because today is actually a couple things going on. It was my dad's birthday. He would have been 96. He passed away 10 years ago, and it's also Swiss National Day, like 4th of July. And he was born on the Swiss version of the 4th of July. So he was born in 1929.
We've got reason to celebrate.
I can't think of a better reason to have some wine on a Friday afternoon here.
So
anyway. Awesome. So this is we haven't drank it all yet. It is the 2022 Pinot Noir. Did I say that correctly?
That's correct.
All right.
And what is so special? So have we had a Pinot Noir? I don't know that we've had.
Should keep better tabs.
So explain what we should be tasting here and what makes this version special.
So just a little background, because I know you've had other guests from Sonoma County, from the Sonoma County wine growers, and I know they've covered areas like the Alexander Valley, where Brent Munsell is from, Dry Creek Valley, where Duff Bevel is from, and we're in. And when I say area, the correct term is the AVA, the American Viticulture appellation. And so I think there's 18 or 19 different wine appellations in Sonoma County. And so we're in the Russian River Valley, which is more coastal, even though we are literally, in 10 minutes, actually less than 10 minutes, I'm in the Dry Creek Valley. We're all very close. And the town that I grew up in and live in, Healdsburg, is kind of think of it as the hub where from Healdsburg, you can go out east to Alexander Valley, north to Dry Creek Valley, and then southwest to the Russian River Valley. And our direction heads towards the ocean. So we're more coastal, cooler climate. And that's really the type of climate and temperature that Pinot Noir and Chardonnay does really well in. Cooler climate grape.
That's really cool. I saw before we hit record, you were, what is this called when you swirl it around in your glass again? This is aeration? No.
Yeah, it's a form of aerating the wine. Yeah. So, and then usually with, I'm holding a Burgundy style glass, which is a bigger bowl, and Pinot is a very aromatic wine. So the bigger bowl gives you more surface area to really capture the aromatics, and that's really what your first inclination is before you taste Pinot is actually what the aromas are, and picking up a lot of we get a lot of cherry fruit, especially this is classic Russian River. A lot of cherry. Think of cherry, cola. What else? Spice. Pick up a little spice. You pick that up when you like baking spice. You'll pick that up probably more when you taste it. But it's it's real nice, and it's the tannins are. Pinot's a thin skin grape, so there's not a lot of tannins relative to like a Cabernet Sauvignon. So it's really a very the texture can be very supple and smooth on your palate, which is real inviting. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. Yeah, doesn't have some of the astringency that some wines bite.
Yep, I would agree. And if I had to make a candle that smelled like a wine, I think I would like it smelling like this.
It smells amazing. I get that cherry, like it's full body, like compared to.
Yeah, it is. Now we are in the warmer part of the Russian River Valley, so we do we have no problem getting our fruit ripe, even though we're in a technically cooler area of the county. So we really have. Sometimes I think of it as the best of both worlds. So with that. With the ripeness comes the full-bodied texture and the full body, a little more weight to the wine as far as viscosity. So, but it's very pleasing on the palate and very aromatic. Pairs wonderfully with all different types of food. Think of Thanksgiving dinner, and we're blessed in Sonoma County with a very diverse agriculture base. Not only, that we have so many great viticultural areas, but we also have the ocean for seafood. We have a lot of pasture land for beef, sheep, goats, a lot of homestead cheese operations. We really a lot of veg crop farming. So really. We produce the wines that not only do we produce the great wines, but the great food that goes with it. So,
speaking of livestock, you have a cow on the back, and I say cow because it looks like a dairy cow to me. Is that what it is?
Very observant there, Corey. Yeah, that's our a little nod to our farming our farming family history. As I mentioned, my dad, both my parents immigrated from Switzerland, small town outside of Lucerne, Switzerland, central Switzerland, Swiss German speaking part, like we talked about with our name. My dad grew up on a dairy farm, but the tradition was that it went to the oldest son, and my uncle, who was older than my dad, took over the farm, and my dad was looking for somewhere else to move to and have an opportunity to start his own farm. And him and a good friend, they immigrated to California in the early 50s, worked at dairy farms around the Bay Area back in the day when actually his first job was milking cows in San Jose, California, which is now like, you've heard of the Silicon Valley. It's all high tech down there. But back in the 50s, it was a lot of dairies and orchards. We're blessed in California with a lot of wonderful ag land.
Yeah, that was one of the most eye-opening things when we came out of LA and we went down into Tulare by Bakersfield and all that, was just the diversity of not livestock. There is livestock, but of just agriculture in general. Yeah. I mean, there was 200 crops in that valley. I think one of the first farms we came up to on the back roads when we were going to the show was a dairy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, well, that looks familiar. And it's crazy because California gets such a bad rap for some of the things that a few small towns or big towns, right? But it's an agriculture state, and that's what's cool.
Yeah. It's really, land mass wise, I think it's 80-90% rural, and a lot of agriculture everywhere, really. So it's a beautiful state.
So Corey, as you took a drink of the wine, what did you get as tasting notes?
Well, I'm glad he told me what it was because I was like, oh man, that is distinct, and it is. It's cherry, and I mean, at first I was like, oh, it smells really grapey, right? Like almost kind of reminded me of when you're passing the communion plate a little bit, and you can smell that when your parents wouldn't let you you'd have to take the grape juice.
Yep. I get that cherry forward is what I'm going to say. And then, I enjoy whiskeys and bourbons and occasionally a scotch. And I got a brother-in-law that is a big scotch fan, and he's had me try a couple of peaty scotches. They almost have an earthier or a dirt taste. I'm not saying it tastes like dirt, but I feel like the finish of this is earthy, if I choose a word.
I don't know if I get
at the end.
Yeah.
Actually, there is an earth component that we get from our vineyard, and it's even like a smoked meats type flavor profile. We love pairing our wines with pork dishes, pork tenderloin, and I've got my Traeger outside where we can smoke the pork tenderloin, and it pairs beautifully with our Pinot. So it's very versatile, like I said, as far as a wine goes, and back to what we were talking about earlier with Pinot Noir. It's a very transparent grape, meaning that where it grows, it really captures the site, the terroir, the location, and it starts with soil. It could also include row direction, elevation, rootstock. And the clones. There's a lot of clonal diversity in Pinot Noir. Clones are just mutations that happen within the varietal. A lot of them are physical in nature, bigger berries, smaller berries, lighter clusters, elongated clusters. And those do add different components to the wine also. But all of that, it's really about the site, and what drives the site is the soil. And we are on the western hills of the Russian River Valley, so we have quite a diverse terrain, hills, valleys, a lot of watersheds, and it's with that we get a lot of soil diversity. And that's really what drives what you're tasting in the glass too. So,
anyway. You used the term when we were talking about what the aromas were, and you said baking spices, and I'm sitting there going, I would probably be a better wine taster if I was a better random taster. Like, I don't know I probably just need to go down this line of 1,000 tastes, because then I can say, oh, that tasted like this.
Yeah.
Because if I've never tasted that, how do I know this is that?
Yeah, I've never tasted baking spice.
I probably have, but didn't know it was in it.
Right. Talk a little bit about your farm and vineyard and go more deep into the soil diversity, because I am an agronomy major from Iowa State. I know Midwest soils, but that interests me because I see was it 38 acres, and you have that much diversity on 38 acres?
Yeah. And that's what makes it. That's what allows us to produce 4 different distinct bottles of Pinot Noir, all from our 38 acres of planted vines. And in fact, I have a couple of samples of the soil just so you can see some of the diverse nature. And I don't know if you can see that the names on the label are the probably
Tories and Opas.
Yeah. So Opa's block is, you can see it's more of a yellowish sandy soil, very small rocks, but very, very sandy. And then on Torrey's block, which is here where our home is, it's towards the front of the ranch. We have this band of this more iron-rich reddish soil, and just these 2 samples. Literally, they're probably, I don't know, no more than 3/4 of a mile from each other, and that's the kind of diversity in the soils we have just on a relatively small vineyard. So that's what makes that's what and that's what we want. We want the transparency of Pinot allows those differences to unfold in the grapes, and then hopefully in the wine also. And you want to taste where Pinot Noir is from, whether it's the Russian River Valley. There's some wonderful vineyards up in the Mendocino County, which is a county north of us called the Anderson Valley. There's wonderful wines being produced in the Central Coast. Think of Monterey down to Santa Barbara. That's right along the coast. And you want to taste the wines. You want to know where it's from, and usually when you can capture that in the wine, it's a really cool thing, and to really have the essence of where it's grown right in the glass.
Have we ever asked how many grapes go into a bottle of wine?
I don't think we have.
If I was to say to somebody, this is how many grapes go into a bottle of wine, how do you describe that?
Well, there is a number, but it does vary depending on different grapes, like a Sauv Blanc versus Sauv Blanc is white, but a Cabernet Sauvignon versus a Pinot cluster. Pinot cluster is a little smaller, so it varies a little bit. But think of basically a ton of grapes can produce about 150 gallons of wine. Okay. It's about 50-ish. It's about 50-ish cases, I think. So there's about 23 and a half cases in a barrel. A barrel is 60 gallons. So that's probably the better way to look at it versus, so you could kind of break the math down further. There's a 2.3 gallons, 2.37 gallons in 12 bottles of wine. I don't know if that helps you.
We're doing all the math. I see one of these clips again. You're doing all your math. It's basically like 15 pounds of grapes makes a bottle.
Can I buy a gallon of wine anymore?
Oh.
Yeah.
Or is it all in the 750 ml?
No, you probably can. It's
Is it in a bag?
Yeah. So the box wine, there's still jug wines out there. Sure. There's nothing wrong with that.
You said you had 4 different bottles. What are your other kinds of wine that you make?
Well, they're all Pinot. The four we do 4 Pinots, but we also make a Chardonnay. Actually, we're coming out with our latest Chardonnay just here in a couple months. We purchased fruit from a neighboring vineyard. We purchased a little bit of Sauvignon Blanc, and we also purchased a little bit of Grenache, which is a Rhone varietal, which is there's a lot of the Rhone varietals grown in the Dry Creek Valley. It's usually a warmer climate grape. Rhone Valley is in the southern part of France, so think of for us, it's Dry Creek is a little more inland. similar to those types of areas in France. So, but like I said, we're in the warmer part of the Russian River Valley, so we're blessed to be able to do some great Pinots and Chardonnay, but also warm enough to do Grenache. Still have some cool sites where Sauv Blanc works. I think there's about 1 million acres in the county of Sonoma. We're about probably 3 times as large as the Napa County, which is just east of us, which is, most people think of the Napa Valley, which is, they produce some wonderful cabs over there. But here we have a bigger area and a more, back to the diverse agriculture, but diverse soils and what we like to call microclimates. So we have these little pockets, and you can break them down into the where like what the Dry Creek Valley is like, what Alexander Valley or what Russian River Valley is like, or over in Sonoma, there's a town of Sonoma. There's also Sonoma Valley. That's on the other side of the county. So we're a diverse county, diverse climates, which gives us the ability to grow so many different wonderful types of wines and produce, or grapes, and produce wonderful different diversity of wines. And like I said, we still have a very diverse agriculture base in our county, which allows us to produce the food that goes along with the great wines. So
that's cool. He keeps talking about all these little pockets.
Yeah.
Do you know what's good both in and out of the pocket?
Pool ball?
Brock Purdy.
That's right.
You didn't catch that before the call, but we do have a Niners fan here on.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome for Brock.
Thank you very much. No, we're thrilled to have Brock as our quarterback. I was talking to Tanner earlier. It's just such a great story, and it's super exciting. Super exciting.
Did you tell him our story?
I did, but I think this is going to air too soon.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Cool. That was very surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's really, super excited for football season's right around the corner. Well, it actually started last night, I guess, right? So
yeah.
Anyway.
Now, is wine a football beverage?
They're actually, that's interesting. I mean, and maybe it's because, if we go to the games, there's, I enjoy beer also, dabble a little bit in bourbon, but, at the games, I probably lean more towards having a beer, but there's a lot of wine that's sold at the sports venues. Maybe it's because, it's more accessible here in California. We just did we were at a couple, it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We actually poured our wines at at Oracle Park, which is where the San Francisco Giants play. And that was really fun. It was us and 5 other wineries that got to do that. And it was really well received. I think they had like 250 guests that they invited, and it was before the game started. Super fun. I got to walk onto the field on the warning track, which was super cool. So as a sports fan, it was neat. And if you've ever been to a game there, it's one of the coolest baseball stadiums where right there the bay is right on the other side of the field.
Right.
Yeah, we're sports fans here. We got to have an event at the local AAA ballpark a couple weeks ago at Tech Hub Live.
That was fun.
And Corey bet me $10,000 that I couldn't hit it out of the ballpark. And then chickened out, didn't give me a chance to prove myself.
They would not let you on. We tried very hard. There was no way you were going to hit it over that.
It was happening.
335 with 50 foot in the air is what you would have to hit it over.
Not a problem.
No
No
way.
hesitation.
No way.
Especially if you were pitching.
I did give up a home run to a guy with a broken arm once.
So what's the AAA affiliate? Which team is it affiliated with?
The Cubs.
Yeah, it's the Iowa Cubs, so out of
cool.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. All right. Very good.
Yes. I got one question left for you, and then I know Corey might have a couple more, but I got to ask the tough one. I know it's probably like picking children, but do you have a favorite wine?
That's a great question. My wife does. My wife Diane and I have the winery, and we have we have a clone called the Pommard clone that drives our vineyard, and we have 5 different sites, and we do a blend, a separate blend just with the Pommard clone blend, and that's her favorite. She doesn't deny it. She's like, always talks about the Pommard clone. And for me, I kind of, my standard answer is our wines are like our kids. Diane and I have a blended family with 5 kids. So the bottom line is you love them all. You just like certain ones better at certain times. And if you guys are parents, I think you know what I'm talking about. You always love them, but sometimes there's somebody is always just, whatever. And, but just like the kids, the wines come around, and next month it could be in a good spot, which I love. I love that. And that's actually really common with Pinot too. You see that kind of navigating with the wine, changes in the bottle, and especially in the early stages after bottling in the first few years. And that's one of the most exciting things about wine is seeing how it develops, and how 5, 7, 10 years later, it's like, wow, this is just wonderful. And you can remember the harvest and remember what you're doing, the kind of weather that happened during that year. It just brings back a lot of memories, at least for me, as someone who is out in the field a lot. And I'm blessed to be able to work with the grapes out in the field, and then actually see it all the way through to the winery. And it's a lot of fun.
I have a feeling if I had a favorite, it'd be tough for me to bottle it for anybody else. I'd just stick that in my cellar and not get rid of it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I only have one left, and I want to know, where can I buy this? Is it just I'm in the middle of America? Can I get it in Iowa?
Probably not, but we could ship it to you. So we have a website. Shoot, I don't even know the website.
I mean, that's the right answer, because now I feel more exclusive that we have probably the only bottle in Iowa, so.
You could go on our website, bucher.wine, and Bucher Wines. It's we've got a website, and there's if you have trouble on the website, you can always, I think Diane's phone number is there, and she takes care of more of the sales, especially this time of year when things are pretty busy in the vineyard. But we're getting close to harvest. Like I said, we're in the warmer part of the Russian River Valley. It's been a relatively cool summer. But because we are warmer, Pinot bud breaks early. And so we're looking at end of August, beginning of September as our start to harvest. So we have veraison happening right now. We're really close to veraison is where the grapes are going from the growth stage to the ripening stage. Green grapes turning purple. We're almost through that. We'll probably, by the end of next week, we'll probably be at 100% veraison, and harvest is right around the corner.
That's very cool. Listeners, it's Bucher, which is Butcher without the T.
BUCHER.wine. I did not know there was a dot.
I know, how
wine.
cool is that?
That is
so
cool.
Yeah.
John, this has been a pleasure. I appreciated the time that we got to chat before I even hit record on the microphones. It is always fun getting to meet growers from Sonoma County, and I appreciated this is the first time we got to talk about how the soil variance affects the wine finish.
Yeah, just another reason we need to get out there and see it for ourselves.
Well, if you ever make it out here, love to connect, and I'll have the other 3 Pinots available to taste, and give a tour of the vineyard too. So love to have you guys out.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, John. Thanks again to the Sonoma County wine growers, and Go Niners.
Yeah.